Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. My next guest, really cool guy who I've crossed paths with before because he used to work for Caroline, doing a lot of design work for the legendary comedy club, and he's the best known nightlife sort of hip photographer there is now, and that's an interesting gig. And I want to talk to him about it. Kirill Bichutsky. Am I saying that right? Bichutsky?
Yeah. That's
Kirill. Kirill's the big
Kirill.
people just have the one name.
Yeah.
Kirill. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
So describe exactly what it is that your expertise is in a way. Like, what are you known for?
I guess at this point, I'm known for documenting the wildest parties.
Which is a cool thing.
It's got a lot of perks.
It's American history, you know. I mean, our royalty are celebrities who party like that, you know, or like the hip clubs, all that kind of thing. And it's good to have people who kind of document it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would just be like a memory of just the people who were there. Who wants that, you know?
Yeah,
It makes you feel like you're there a little bit, you know.
I agree with you. I think, I'm documenting the past.
Right.
Like, the people who are going to be famous and the people that are famous. Like we were just talking.
Mingling
basically.
together,
Yeah.
Like, what's a good example of that you've done?
I mean, I've shot, I was looking through, I don't think you would know, there's a bunch of DJs that are famous now that 2 years ago.
When you say DJ, like a guy who spins at a club.
Yeah, but like guys.
Like a DJ Tiesto.
Yeah, like a Tiesto. I mean, like, DJs now, I guess, are like the new rock stars.
They are, yeah.
So they're famous.
Yep.
And I've got tons of, I guess, blackmail photos of them from back in the day that I just started going through, and it's kind of hilarious.
Lucrative.
It's hilarious. Oh, it is.
Now you're talking about drugs. You're talking about just
everything, you know.
I mean, no one's getting hurt in these pictures, are they?
No.
Okay, good.
Animals.
There you go. Well, now, the
involved.
front of your website is the front page of your website's amazing. You call yourself the Slut Whisperer. Is that some of your stuff right
someone
there?
gave me that moniker on Twitter, and I kind of rolled with it.
Funny.
And then people were like, "Oh, that's perfect." And I was like, "Yeah, that is pretty on
The
point."
Slut Whisperer. It's a talent. So, okay, here's an example of some of your photos. This is like crazy. Like
That's in Arizona.
Okay.
Which is probably my favorite place in the world to party.
Listen, let me tell you something. I've done stand-up at the Improv in Tempe, Arizona, a bunch of times. I did a special for them, my first stand-up special, because it is the hottest, craziest chick.
The hottest girls.
Oh, my God. The Tempe Improv was basically on Arizona State's campus. And the first 6 rows were like young Pam Andersons. And they're all like, if they see you perform, they're all like, let's go. Me and Julie are having an ecstasy party at our complex's pool. You want to come? I guess.
Yeah, it's an
I
easy
guess
sell.
I'll come to that. Why is Arizona? When did you get hip to Arizona? You was traveling?
It's only been a year that I've been going there.
Yeah.
And I go there a few
The
every
Phoenix
few months.
area?
It's like Scottsdale and Phoenix.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Every time I go there, I want to call a realtor. You know?
I mean, that's where I want to settle down. I think it's just like I can't get over the girls there.
Yeah, they're really stunning.
Yeah, dumb too, which is perfect.
Stunningly dumb. Well, now how often do you go?
Every few months, I make my rounds there. I don't want to oversaturate myself there.
Are you on the road a lot to do this? Do you go to like say I'll go to the hottest clubs in different cities and just document it?
Yeah, I mean, to relate to like a comedian, from my experience, I think it's kind of like the similar schedule.
You're on the road.
I'm on the road a lot on the weekends. You know, like Thursdays through Sunday. And
Absolutely.
then, but it's like some cities have like industry nights, so I'll do like a Monday or Tuesday there.
Now, do you find because you have a reputation now, it hurts because people try too hard to be crazy in front of you, to try to,
I mean, I don't think that hurts.
Yeah,
because the thing is, with photos, you can't really catch people trying too hard. You just see
it's a
it.
still
So
photograph,
you're like,
right.
oh, that happened. Like, you don't know if it's planned or not. I mean, I think at this point, it's a lot easier to get girls to do anything. It's like once they recognize the name, it's like the little 15 seconds of fame.
Oh, absolutely.
Joe Francis walks in anywhere with a video camera.
That's
Some girls
true.
are going to take their tits out.
Now, do you know Joe Francis?
I
at all?
don't.
Right, yeah.
I should.
He sort of was the pioneer of this
yeah.
with video, I mean, it's pretty incredible what he gets these women to do.
I mean, I just hope I don't do any jail time like
yeah, well,
him.
that's
But,
the thing. He went to the joint.
It's all right.
And look, if the wrong daughter's on there, you could be in trouble.
Yeah.
You got to be careful.
Right.
Has that ever happened?
I've had a lot of emails, and I usually, how do you say? I usually just pull the emails whenever they ask me to.
Right.
Unless we can just tell that they're just like over the top, just trying to get photos pulled down.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not out to like ruin a college girl's life. Like she'll lose her scholarship and, you know, move home and then her life's ruined.
What about famous people? Are they like nervous around you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the people that know me, and they get it. And then there's, you know, no famous person's really doing anything too crazy in this day and age in a club. I would say there's like I'm not the only person there with a camera. Like
well, that's
people
what I
with
mean. Nowadays,
everyone's got a camera phone.
Yeah.
It's like I'm sometimes might even miss something that someone else will be like, oh my God, did you see what like this person just did in the club?
Right. Okay.
You know, I have friends that are porn stars that like, oh, they blew like Machine Gun Kelly, who's a rapper, in the middle of a club, and everyone's just filming it, and it's like, okay.
But they're porn stars.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're gonna do.
Right. I mean, they do what they do. So how did this all start? You said you worked at Caroline's in New York. Like, how'd you get...
Yeah, I mean, we had like an event at Caroline's with a DJ, and him and I became friends over the course of the night. And
introduce you to that world. Of
yeah. I brought him into the comedy world, and he kind of brought me into nightlife.
Okay.
And then after a few like weeks of partying, I was like, all right, let me take my camera that I used to have at Caroline's,
right,
and just take some photos. Like, find a purpose in this club other than getting drunk and getting creepy with girls.
Right.
How long ago was this? How long ago was the...
This was like the site I launched in 2009. And I had a day job. Like I worked in the comedy club business, like doing design, while at night then secretly not telling anyone, going out and taking photos for a good 2 years.
And like you say, you have pictures of me, like doing what, on stage? Or just hanging out at the club?
On stage, hanging out back at the club.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, no, I love that because you do want to document it. If you're in the business, you want to, you know, it's like...
I mean, to me, it's cool to just look back on the shit I've experienced, you know.
You can't curse, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
And listen, most people...
My bad.
No, not your bad. I should have told you, but yeah, just radio clean.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so you were saying there's stuff you've experienced.
Yeah, the stuff I've experienced, you know, it's just a part of me, and I drink at this point so much that I probably forget everything. So it's cool to go back and you're like, oh wow, that happened and that happened.
So you party with the people that you're
yeah,
you know.
Because I mean, I'm sure you've experienced it. Being sober around drunk people might be the worst thing on the planet.
It's a nightmare.
It's because they're drunk, falling all over themselves, trying to tell you the same story over and over. So you just got to get on their
God
level.
forbid you had cocaine in that mix.
Oh, man.
If you're around someone who's on coke and you're not on coke, you will want to throw that person out the window or jump out the window yourself. Yeah. But no, I get what you're saying. So you might as well just join the party.
Yeah. So then you can just like, you know, you're on autopilot. You're not paying attention to the 1,000 bros that are like, well, at this point, they all come up. They're like, oh my God, I'm such a huge fan. Boobs. Let me see some boobs. I'm like, dude, you got to like calm it down a little bit. This is getting creepy.
Just hang out.
Yeah. Just hang. Something will happen.
Now, what cities do you have favorite cities that you go to?
I mean, Arizona,
well, besides
Miami. I think any city which promotes little to no clothing is fun.
Besides Vegas, Miami is
I think is
nutty
weird.
city.
Because Vegas is very corporate.
Right.
It's like,
it's become that. You're right. Absolutely.
I mean, you can't have nudity. You can't have, like, from my end, people will see the photos from Vegas and be like, what are you, gay? You didn't get any girls naked.
It's become PC almost.
You can't do anything in Vegas. Right. I can't have photographs of girls with their shoes off in a club because...
You're kidding me.
Because it's a liability for the nightclub.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it's like the corporate world meets nightlife.
Now, is Miami different than that?
Yeah, Miami doesn't care about anything goes there. Miami's like...
That's what I've seen in Miami clubs. And then, you know, when they get done with the club, they'll move it over to the beach, some of these
Or
people.
after hours. Yeah, Miami goes 24/7.
Right.
How do you know where to go to hit these, like the hottest parties? Do you get invites from big names?
At this point, you probably know.
Yeah, I mean, for the first 2 years, since I had a day job, I hustled for free, trying to talking to people, the best parties. So I kind of built this reputation on my site that Kirill goes and shoots the best parties. And then the way it works now is the site has so much traffic that clubs and promoters hire me.
They want you. Right.
Yeah, and then they're paying to have their photos of their club on my site. So then people click and like, oh, when I go to Miami, I have to go to this club because look how crazy it got.
Well, you deserve props for what you've become a brand, you know, in a way, in this this world.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. Once you create that, you're right. They will tell you because they want, Kirill's shooting us, you know.
Was this your plan all along, or did it somehow evolve into this? Because I don't know if I would have had the foresight to get to where you are at this point.
I mean,
it's an amazing gig.
I dropped out of college for like graphic design, so I had a little bit of marketing in my head, and I knew what I wanted to do. Like the way I kind of broke into New York comedy scene, I was like, I need to hang out with comedians.
Did you want to be a comedian or just a fan?
No. Like from the first George Carlin CD I heard, from then on out, it was just like all comedy all the time.
Oh wow! But you never had the inkling to do it. You just wanted to be around that scene.
No, I just wanted to be around.
Did you think of
talented
managing?
people?
Oh, okay.
No, like to me, it blew my mind that somebody had to come up with new material constantly. Because like you'll go see music live and people play the hits.
Yes.
And from comedians, people constantly demand new material.
Yeah, if you're famous, like Springsteen can play Born to Run for 100 years.
Yeah.
You got to write new stuff if you're a comic.
So to me, that world intrigued me.
Yeah.
And that's how I broke into that world. And then with doing design and marketing kind of at Caroline's, I kind of picked that up and was like, all right, let me come up with a name. Because we had names like, I partied with Kirill.com.
Right.
You know? And then I was like, let me do something generic so that one day maybe I can take it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which is why Kirill was here. It doesn't really stand for a specific thing.
We should give some credit to our mutual friend Russ Maneve. You said Russ, great comic, who's been here before. I've known Russ forever. He helped you out, huh?
Russ was the first person I knew in comedy. I did all his graphic design, his website.
No kidding. Yeah.
I did it for everyone at the Cellar.
At the Cellar, too, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you hit it the right time because, I was never a technology guy, but I was in the generation where you look what happened to Dane Cook. So much success was because MySpace back then.
Social media.
Wow, social media is huge. You got to find out someone who can do it for you. You know? That's a big deal. It still is.
I always wonder about, photographers, professional photographers. How do you feel about the fact that everyone has a camera in their pocket now? Is it like, do you feel like you got a bunch of hacks out there who are kind of like taking your
That's a good question.
shots when they get the great ones?
I mean, to me, I feel sometimes that I'm one of those hacks too. Like, look, I never took a photo class in my life. I taught myself.
I think it's instinct, though.
But, I went to art school. Like, I have, at least I hope I have, the eye. I can draw. I wanted to work for Disney as a kid. Like, so I have the artistic eye, and the camera's just a tool. I mean, I'm not mad at, everyone having a camera. It just makes me work harder, I guess.
Look, some of it's just luck. If you're right, like if I happen to be in an elevator with, two huge celebrities and they start making out, and I take a picture of it, you know what I mean? It's like, I'll just take a picture of it, and then that's luck. But I think what you have to do is you have to have the instinct to create that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what, I get a lot of people talk shit about me on social media, like, oh, your photos suck, it's so easy, I could do this, and it's true. I think, for me, my whole skill mostly is creating those moments in the photos and setting that up to happen. Then you could take that photo yourself. There's not that much.
So the talent, the skill is
talent is creating that energy that's seen in the photos.
Right. There's a great documentary I watched on HBO about sports photography and the iconic sports pictures that all of us know about. Is the photographer himself will say, look, I knew this guy hit the ball this way or ran this way and positioned myself to where something might happen, and they got it,
I mean, I shot an NBA game once, and it probably was some of the worst photos I've ever taken in my life. It's so hard. I mean, I have no idea how they do it.
Are you a sports fan or where you?
No, I guess I don't even know where to look half the time.
But
I don't
you're
know
right.
anything.
But a lot of it's. I think but I think someone like you with your skills with a camera and instinct. I think if you did enough NBA games, you'd probably get a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I guess.
And one time is.
I mean,
hard.
if I look at my first photos from parties, they're just terrible.
Also, it depends on the guy. Like when Michael Jordan was in his prime, and you're a photographer, and you got those press credentials to be on the floor, and you got Jordan playing Isaiah Thomas. You're gonna get something just because they're so famous, Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, you sound like you're a winner in this world because you're doing something you love. It sounds, and you're making money. It's great.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Do you feel like
I can't complain.
You seem happy.
I feel like if I were in the position that you're in, I'm not sure I would survive that. I like being around the debauchery every night.
Well, I went through that with comedy because I was working in a nightclub and I used to partake in everything. And it's hard to do, especially if you love what you do. Are you worried about that?
It's starting to the hangovers are killer.
Brutal.
And the worst is when I have to work till like 4 or 5 a.m. and then there's like an 8 a.m. flight to the next city.
Dude,
and you're just
preaching
dead.
to the choir.
And then you land and they're like, all right, let's start drinking. And you're just like, I don't even want to hold my camera tonight.
I've looked so bad on planes. I'm sure people have wanted to take me to get help as the plane landed. Like, somebody, hung over where you're a different color.
We're going
green.
through customs, through like, it's the worst.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a theme in a lot of these photos is kind of a pour, like a facializing champagne or liquor.
That's a great shot.
On the face of young ladies.
I'll explain that to you. That's really funny, actually. Like 3 years ago, I was like, all right, I need to start like a blog or something on the side just to keep myself entertained too. And I was like, let me find a theme, started looking through all my photos, and I started this thing where I was pouring champagne on girls' heads.
Yeah.
And to me, it was this sexual, not sexual thing where it's obviously champagne,
but it implies something. Right.
And it literally, once I put up that Tumblr, within a week it blew up, and more clubs started booking me. And this is a lot.
Like to come pour champagne on girls' heads.
You would not believe the amount of girls line up for this.
Really?
It's crazy.
And they want you to do it. They want you to do it.
I'll either do it or I'll have my friends do it. But the clubs love it because people start buying bottles of champagne so they can do it.
And there you go.
So that's how they make their money.
The markup on a bottle of champagne.
Wow. So this is your signature move in a way.
The champagne facial.
It's brilliant.
That's champagne facial. That's what you call it?
I'm saying it's brilliant. We're going to take a break and we'll reflect on this a little more.
Yes.
We're going to come back with Kirill after that.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.